Kendrick Lamar just dropped the most raw, unfiltered truth about his issues with Drake. And it's not just about music. This is years of tension, subliminal disses, behind-the-scenes shade, and industry chess moves coming to light. From the control verse that shook the rap world to recent interviews and lyrical digs, we're breaking down exactly why Kendrick Lamar says he has no love for Drake, and why this feud might be deeper than anyone ever realized. Kendrick Lamar is known as one of the most respected lyricists of his generation, a master of storytelling, wordplay, and crafting music with real meaning. Unlike many rappers who thrive on social media drama, Kendrick has always carried himself with a certain quiet intensity. But when he chooses to address a situation, it's never random. It's deliberate, calculated, and often packed with subtle layers for fans to decode. This feud with Drake didn't just happen overnight. The seeds were planted years ago, around the time Kendrick's verse on Big Sean's Control lit a fire under the entire rap industry. In that verse, Kendrick called out nearly every big-name rapper, including Drake, declaring himself the best and challenging everyone to step their game up. While Kendrick later said it was about competition, Drake publicly admitted he wasn't thrilled with the call-out, suggesting it was unnecessary. That was the first crack in the surface. Over the years, Kendrick's approach has been more about subliminals than open warfare. His albums, especially To Pimp a Butterfly and DAMN, include moments that many fans believe are aimed at Drake's style of music and the way he navigates the industry. Kendrick has taken shots at what he sees as manufactured personas and artists who care more about chart numbers than cultural impact. Lines that many interpret as shade toward Drake's hit-making approach. More recently, industry insiders have pointed to private incidents that added fuel to the fire. Sources claim that collaborations between the two were discussed but fell apart, possibly due to creative disagreements or mutual distrust. There have also been whispers about competitive tension over awards, streaming dominance, and even shared business connections. For Kendrick, whose artistry is deeply tied to authenticity and integrity, the perception that Drake plays the game in a calculated, image-first way may be the core of the resentment. When Kendrick finally spoke openly in a recent sit-down interview, his comments were measured but unmistakable. He talked about respecting the hustle, but not the hustle's cost, a clear signal that he doesn't align with certain industry tactics. Without saying Drake's name, Kendrick made it obvious who he was referring to, and fans immediately connected the dots. His delivery was calm, but the words hit harder than any tweet could. Now that we've laid out the full picture, I want to hear from you. In this ongoing clash between two rap powerhouses, whose philosophy do you stand behind? Kendrick's uncompromising authenticity or Drake's strategic versatility? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's see which side the culture really rides with. Drake, on the other hand, has built his career on being versatile, strategic, and always in the conversation. From emotional R&B ballads to hard-hitting rap verses, he's mastered the art of staying relevant across multiple lanes. And part of that mastery is knowing how to handle critics, even when the critic is someone as respected as Kendrick Lamar. Their relationship in the early days seemed cordial. Drake invited Kendrick to perform on his Club Paradise tour, praised his talent in interviews, and even collaborated on tracks like Poetic Justice. But as Kendrick's star rose and his lyrical jabs became more pointed, Drake's tone shifted. In interviews, he began to subtly question Kendrick's competitive energy, saying he didn't fully get the aggression when they had no personal issues. Still, Drake never stayed completely quiet. He has a habit of addressing beef in his music, and Kendrick was no exception. Tracks like The Language, Tuscan Leather, and later cuts on Scorpion and Her Loss contain lines that many hip-hop heads believe are aimed directly at Kendrick. They're often indirect enough to maintain plausible deniability, but the context makes it hard to ignore. Drake's strategy has always been to respond in a way that feeds the conversation without giving his opponent the satisfaction of a full-blown battle. Behind the scenes, Drake's dominance in the charts and streaming platforms became another point of tension. While Kendrick wins critical acclaim and major awards like the Pulitzer Prize, Drake holds the crown for commercial success, breaking record after record. This created a kind of unspoken rivalry over what defines greatness. In hip-hop, cultural impact versus mainstream reach. In recent years, Drake has been careful with how much energy he gives Kendrick in public, but industry leaks suggest he's not as indifferent as he appears. Some insiders claim that Drake has passed on certain festival bookings or collaborative opportunities when Kendrick was involved, opting to avoid potential friction. Still, whenever the topic comes up, in interviews, Drake keeps his responses slick and measured, often pivoting to talk about respect while sliding in lines that keep the tension alive.